Welcome to this video, guys. In this video we are going to start structuring our project. So currently we just have this message on the screen, and that's not what we want. We want to initiate our project. So here I have the main app.vue. So what I'm going to do, inside source we have assets and components. I'm going to create another directory with the name of pages. So it's going to be pages, that's it. And inside the pages we want to create the directories as we want our application to go. So for example, in this application we will be creating data related to coaches. So I want a folder for coaches, and also I want a folder inside the pages for messages, so that whenever we send messages to the coaches, and we will have all the components, those are going to deal with messages inside this directory. So messages. All right, so we have two directories now, so we will have our components in there. So first of all, when we refresh this page, there should be a default component. Currently app.vue is the main component where we are rendering the hello world component, and the way we are going to do the same. So what I want to do, I'm going to create a page, a component inside it, inside pages again, not inside these folders here. So I will call it front and page.vue. all right, so this is going to be the component that we want to load instead of hello world in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all put some content here. So it's a template, and this is the syntax for it. So and then div, and here I'm going to say h1 for now, home page. That's it, and we're gonna save this. Now we want to use this component, so we need to call this component first. So here we are importing the component right here. So in our case we want to import it, but a bit different. So it's going to be import, I'm going to say front page, same way, and it's going to be from. Now when we call the directory, we need to go inside pages this time, and there we have the front page.vue. all right, so we can use this component. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Now as we have it here, now I can remove this because we don't want hello world component, so I'm going to remove that. And here, as we're calling it like this, we can use it like this. So it's going to be front page. all right, so we have it there. Now as we are not using front page, we can even delete this file. So I go into components here, I'm going to delete this. Okay, move to trash, we don't need that component anymore. Now let's see what happened here. So if I go, you can see that home page is coming here. Now if I right click and inspect and then go to console, we need to make sure we are not getting any errors here. So if no errors here, everything is good. Well, the thing is that we just call different page here in the content showing just fine, and that's fine. But the problem is that we want to render all the components on this particular page. For example, this app.vue is going to be render all the components inside here. So when we click each path, we're going to load a new component, and that component will load here. So for that, we cannot straight away call a component like this, because in this case we are calling front page, but we are going to create pages for coaches and messages as well. But in that case we need to render them here too, so we cannot put each component like this. What do we need to do? We need to use the view router in that case. So here, what I'm gonna say here, we're gonna say router and view. So this is something that is going to render the component. Now for this, we do not need to call this here. So we are going to call the component in the router page, we're going to define a few routes. So I'm going to delete from here, and I'm going to remove this. And we don't need default styles, so I'm going to remove this too. We have this, and it says router view is unknown. It's saying view router did not register a component correctly, so we need to check this now. So here we just call the view router, and we just call it like this, and make sure it is inside the div where ID is app, because our app is going to work, VueJS is going to work with this ID. And why it is going to work with this ID? Because when you go to main app, main.js, we are saying that create a new view app, and we are saying mount it to ID app. So that's why it is going to mount it here, and everything that is going to render going to be inside it. So we have router view, which is totally fine. Now what we need to do in the export default, there are going to be data, and it's going to return currently return empty object currently, so we're just gonna leave it this way. Now if I go to the front page, we are not doing anything. Now what we need to do, we need to import the router, view router. So if you remember, initially we ran this command npm install view router. So we import a view router like this, and we tell our view application to use the view router. So we're going to do that. So I go into main.js here, and here we need to call it. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to copy this line, and here we're going to call it. So you can see that we are importing the view from view, and then app from app.view, and here we are calling the view router now. So view.use, and we are going to pass view router here. All right, inside it, and this way it is going to have the access to it. Now you can see that it highlighted, so it's working just fine. Working with view routers, we need to create a brand new file where we're going to define the routes. So in the next video, we're going to define all the routes, and basically routes are, so for example, currently we are on the home page, so we need to tell view application that which component to load when you are on the home page, and which component to load if you are on any other route. So in the next video, we are going to create the routes. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one.